Not all fear-inducing starship classes come from outside the Federation, as is the case with Section 31's Nimrod Class. But what's the story behind this scary starship design? Well, today we'll find out. Hello and welcome to another episode of Truth or Myth Beta Canon, a Star Trek web series that dives into the history of any given topic, using beta canon sources and my own imagination to fill in the gaps. In today's episode, we're continuing our spooktacular starship event for the month of October by taking a look at Section 31's Nimrod Class, as first seen in Star Trek Discovery Season 2, to better understand its place in Star Trek history. Please note, Section 31 is a touchy subject in Star Trek fandom. Seemingly going directly against Gene Roddenberry's ideals, there are those who will rant and rave at anyone who will listen about why Section 31 should not be canon. Well, like it or not, it is canon, and no rant will ever change that. And thus, the anti-rant policy of this channel will remain in full effect, with airlocks primed and ready to dispose of anyone who attempts to do so. I'm not here to be a soapbox for anyone. We are all just here to have some fun, so let's act like adults and discuss said topic in that same vein. But of course, and as always, because this is just a bit of beta canon, all information relayed should pretty much be taken with a grain of stardust and only considered a little bit of Star Trek fun. And so, with all that out of the way, let's begin. Section 31 had existed since the founding of Starfleet itself. Part of the original charter, Section 31 was originally a secret organization. However, that all changed in the early 23rd century. A gradual crawl from the shadows, Section 31 would become an open secret by the 2250s. And Starfleet Command would gain some control over the organization, or at least the appearance of control. Section 31's own mandate was a simple one: protect Earth and the Federation from any and all threats. However, the enacting of this mandate was far more complex, oftentimes requiring Section 31 to operate outside the core values of the organization it was charged to protect. With missions that would require operatives visiting the far reaches of the Alpha and Beta quadrants, Section 31 would develop its own computer control artificial intelligence, simply known as Control, and also several of its own starship designs. And one of the most interesting and advanced designs created in the mid-23rd century was the Nimrod Class. Sitting at a length of 872 meters, the Nimrod Class would be designed to be operated by a standard crew of 320 operatives. This number, however, could be decreased substantially, only requiring a minimum crew of 6 loyal officers to operate the vessel in case of an emergency. With a far more advanced warp reaction system, the Nimrod Class would have a standard safe cruising speed of warp factor 7, with an emergency maximum speed of warp factor 9.2 for 16-hour increments. Tactically, the Nimrod Class would also have some of the most advanced weaponry and defensive systems available at the time. Several uprated phaser emitter banks would be complemented by an additional 4 dual-heavy phaser cannons and 2 phaser turret systems. She would also be equipped with both a forward and aft torpedo launching system, capable of firing a variety of projectile weaponry. Her shield systems would also be so advanced that Starfleet Command itself would not catch up to that technology until the 2340s. The Nimrod class's hull would be covered with a titanium armor plating, specifically configured to give these vessels an element of stealth capability, which made the class difficult to detect on long-range sensors. The Nimrod class would also have hollow emitters placed along its hull, having stolen the technology from the Romulan Star Empire back in the 2150s. These hollow emitters were capable of making the Nimrod class appear as almost any starship class, or objects such as asteroids, again making vessels of this class very difficult to detect. The design of the Nimrod class was very reminiscent of Starfleet's own starship designs. Having both a primary and secondary hull, the true difference in the class came from its arrowhead saucer-shaped design, which itself had an unusual cutout element added to it. This cutout area was primarily utilized to capture objects and technology for study, while keeping said object off the starship itself, until its threat level was determined and Section 31 scientists approved the object for internal transport. The Nimrod class also had an extensive array of auxiliary drone-type vessels embedded in its hull. Completely automated, these drones could be used to swarm attack a vessel, analyzing the weaknesses of its target, and formulating its own plans to take advantage of those weaknesses. Officially, the Nimrod class would not last into the 2260s. After going rogue, Section 31's artificial AI control would be dismantled, and with it, so too would Section 31. Deemed to be far too dangerous and the antithesis of what the Federation was attempting to achieve, Starfleet and the Federation Council would order Section 31's dismantling. Not happy with these orders, for a time, Section 31 would refuse them. But when the Federation Council threatened them with exposure and that all of Starfleet's resources would be used to hunt them down, Section 31 ultimately acquiesced, but with one caveat. Being so much more technologically advanced than Starfleet, many historians have asked why Section 31 didn't simply give that technology to Starfleet, especially after the dismantle order came down to them. With such advanced technology at its disposal, Starfleet could clearly protect itself and the citizens of the Federation. But the answer to this problem is within Section 31's mandate itself, to protect the Federation. Had Section 31 given their technology to Starfleet, a technological revolution, the likes of which no one had ever seen before, would occur. And enemy governments such as the Klingon and Romulan empires would see this technological revolution as a threat to their own species, and a clear threat to the power balance that existed within the Milky Way, causing these powers to perhaps unite in common goal of destroying the Federation, achieving the exact opposite of what Section 31 had been designed for. And so, Section 31 agreed to its dismantling with the caveat that all of its ships and technology would be destroyed in one last act of protecting the Federation. And so, in early 2259, at a secret location, with Starfleet's Command Council and several Federation Council members in attendance to bear witness, all remaining Section 31 starships, including all Nimrod Class vessels, were destroyed by self-destructing themselves in a brilliant display that lit up the heavens. Over a century later, many questions still exist about the whole situation, like why Starfleet Command would push so hard at the Federation Council to accept Section 31's dismantling conditions, or why Starfleet Command would agree to its own assets with such advanced technology simply be destroyed. And with recent rumors of Section 31's continued existence, perhaps these questions are better left unasked. Created as the ultimate intelligence-gathering and covert mission-accomplishing vessel class, Section 31's Nimrod Class starship design was an amazing testament to the future of Starfleet itself, earning the Nimrod Class its very mysterious place in Starfleet history. Thank you for watching today's episode of Truth or Myth Beta Canon. What do you think of the Nimrod Class, Section 31, and the historical narrative that I've created here? Do you want to see more videos like this one? Well, leave your comments in the section below, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, hitting that little bell icon so you won't miss a single video we release. Want to help the channel gather intelligence and protect the Federation from all manner of threat? Then consider becoming a channel patron, a major help that allows this channel to purchase resources and 3D models to keep it going. The link to our Patreon account is in the description below. Thanks again for watching, and remember, trust no one.